next year's 2024 Grand Chess Tour. And there you see Wesley So on your left, not only winning the Sinquefield Cup, but also
he started with 27.77,
Right.
and now on the live we saw 27.51. And putting his rating spots or the candidates in jeopardy.
And we have a Slav defense, classical with bishop f5, knight h4. This has become a very, very modern
This is
trend.
a very, very topical line.
Yeah, Kramnik and Topalov from their World Championship match. And Peter, jump right in. Is this all theory?
Very often will prompt black to take on c4 themselves and then push for the c5 break, trying to resolve the central situation that way. And here, Jan instantly clarifies everything. The thing to argue why this maybe is a bit more comfortable for black is that if you don't wait for knight b7 before taking on d5, you give this knight by far the best square for it to be developed to, which is what we're seeing. The knight instantly jumps to c6. And in this final position, it looks very solid, and the question is, how are we going to make any progress with white? Generally, I mean, one suggestion would be you wait for black to castle kingside. Let's say we play queen d1 or bishop d3, maybe more relevant. We wait for black to castle kingside, and now we start with g4 followed by h4, h5, and so on. Black, of course, will have something to say about it. White will not be able to make 5 moves in a row here, but at least there is now a target available for us.
Right.
But the situation in the center, I feel, is stable enough that black is absolutely not committed to castling immediately. I think you can, but you can also wait, because I think knight a5, c4, followed perhaps by b7, b5, making some kind of an advance on the queen side, and then seeing if it's safe to castle kingside, or perhaps it's just better to keep the king on e8 for the time being and see what white does. White has the advantage of the bishop pair, but the bishops aren't really that impressive so far. Something you would very much like to do here is to organize an e4, e3, e4 break, but our pawn on d4 is so vulnerable currently that it'll take some doing. I don't quite see how we achieve that easily in any kind of an immediate future. So it seems very balanced for me, but Jan is doing this very, very quickly, and Alireza is also not spending too much time. This is 4 minutes above the starting time. Queen a4 check, and you have to go back because b5 then takes b5. You've resigned. Oops. You've just completely resigned. So you go knight d7. If white goes h4, once again, white is very often just putting this pawn on freeze because the open h file is just more important than anything.
Right.
An additional point to knight d7 is we've given ourselves, and knight d7 on the screen, by the way, by Alireza, bishop d3 immediately met by knight d7. We've given ourselves an additional idea here of playing queen b6 and asking, do you want to drop back to d1 and allow us to? Now we can take on h4, now in some positions bishop a3 will become a question, and so on. So it preserves flexibility, it doesn't give white a very obvious target on the king side of the king being on g8. And also it does seem like Alireza just knows, because this is not a random thing, this is very much a suggestion of the engine. And knight e2 also played very quickly by Jan, indicating that perhaps e3, e4 is now
It indicates to me that there is a repetition somewhere along.
Such as what Peter was showing, knight a7 and knight c6, king d7. You know, here there's nothing about strategy. It's actually just sheer calculation. I mean, everything is move after move after move. Rook c3.
Rook c3 already played. I'm trying to figure out what the difference.
not bad.
These
It's actually
graphics
pretty great.
and interesting statistics come courtesy of our resident statistician, Ben Underwood.
Thank you, Ben. Bishop d3, e2, Lanier's last move. And by the way, both Richie and Lanier do have a reputation of getting, because of the repetition, and I just see Nepo's body posture is, he's reconciled himself to a draw now.
Players are repeating.
Well, explain this in a kind of a context, because great preparation by Nepo. Clearly, he put some serious effort into this opening and his preparation for today. He's not being rewarded.
No, it's a bit strange though, because I'm pretty sure he knows that the evaluation of this whole line is still equal if black plays perfectly. I think the reason he is sort of upset is what Alireza did is not absolutely the prescribed way to make that draw. So he knows that some moves which are in the first line have been played.
Right.
So he feels maybe he missed something which resembles a win. I think he will be mollified once he gets back to the room, and if our machine isn't very wrong and the cloud machines aren't suggesting something completely different. He was never winning. He was pressing, but he was never winning, I don't think. And as soon as he realizes that, I think his feelings of slight disgust with himself will dissipate.
Maybe it hasn't been his tournament, right? Because we all remember the round 2 when he was playing Lenny Dominguez, he had several ways to win. And, well, he blew it. He missed them. And then here he's got his preparation in. Alireza doesn't react in the most conventional way. He must have felt like he had something. His position was very dangerous.
Well, as Peter's saying, he's probably at this moment upset with himself, and maybe will be less so